Hello and welcome to this Northstowe Arts video. In this video I'm going to show you how to make a jar lantern for our lantern parade on the 4th of December for the light switch on at Northstowe. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, to make your jar lanterns you will need the tissue paper and black paper from the pack and a bit of string. There'll also be a small tub of the PVA glue in the pack as well for you. You'll need a jar from home, a pair of scissors and a paintbrush. Okay, to begin with, we're going to make sure the outside of the jar is clean and clear of labels for this. Keep the lid because we will use that. We're going to take our tissue paper and tear it into smallish pieces. We may find we have to change the size of the pieces to cover specific areas once we've got the jar started. But to begin with, go for pieces somewhere around that size, probably a couple of inches square, something like that. A little bigger or a little smaller are fine. You shouldn't need the whole sheet of tissue paper. So I've got the mixture made up here. From doing the milk bottle lantern video. It's basically the amount of PVA glue that you get in your little tub mixed with about 5 or 6 times that amount of water to make a very runny, sticky mix. And we're going to use this on the inside of our jar. So if we just cover the whole of the inside of the jar. We then need to pop the tissue paper inside. This is quite a small, narrow jar. If you can get a bigger jar or a wider jar, that makes life much easier. If you've got a little jar like this, you can do all the decorating on the outside, but of course that makes it a lot less weatherproof. You can use your damp paintbrush to stick tissue paper to get to the bottom of your jars, if that helps. Try to dab with the paintbrush if you start to find the tissue is tearing. Anything over the top can be trimmed. We're trying to cover the whole thing. So you want as few gaps as possible. This tissue paper is just ordinary tissue paper, so it's not wet strength tissue paper. So as soon as we add water to it, it gets very, very weak. So you have to be very careful when you're using your brush against it. But if it does tear, you just simply add another piece of tissue paper over the top. Try not to get too thick, because the more tissue paper we add, the less light we'll get through for your lantern. Okay, I'm not too worried about right at the top here because we are going to put the lid back on. I do want the top of the jar covered. Around this shoulder area. Okay, so that's now completely covered on the inside. So the next thing to do is to put our design on the inside, and we're going to use the black paper for this. So we're basically creating a silhouette. So we're making some kind of pattern to go around the inside of our lantern. You can do lots of little stars or hearts or very simple shapes and just put them on the inside, or you could do something a little bit more complicated, like the shape of a reindeer or a snowman. Snowflakes, anything like that can go on the inside of your jar. So I think I am just going to do a few stars. So I'm going to go. So the inside is still sticky, but a little bit more glue where you want to place the paper is a good idea. And then we're going to go in with the paintbrush. Gently make sure the paper is stuck down to the tissue paper. And there you go, you can see that the star silhouette is there. I'm just going to make a few more slightly smaller ones and pop them in, and that will be my design. I've got all of my stars in my lantern now. So the next thing to do is to put a handle on our lantern. So you will get a length of yarn in your pack of materials for the lanterns, and we're just going to use that yarn to make a handle. So we're going to knot it one side, back round to the other side. Take this end around, go through where the knot is, so that we've then got 2 loops up. Okay. So, pop a knot in the top. And then hopefully there'll be enough left that we can hook around and just knot these ends. And there we go. We've got our handle. Now, to make sure that stays in place, we're actually going to put the lid back on to make it a little bit more secure. There we go. And that's our finished lantern.